Peyton Walsh, she's standing by live in Sochi, Russia. Nick, what do we know about the nature of this new threat?
Well, Jake, this email, which seems to have been the same one received by the Hungarian, Italian, German and Slovenian National Olympic Committee, seems to have been vague, seems to have been suggesting a threat that to blow perhaps part up of a contingent here. But it was quite swiftly downplayed, as you mentioned, by the International Olympic Committee, who seemed to be suggesting it was just a member of the public. There's been other traffic intercepted, which purports to perhaps have been communications between Russian officials discussing a threat. But in this part of the world, where I've worked nearly a decade now, you do see a lot of chatter like this, confused signals at times. And of course, everyone's deeply scrutinising anything they can right now to work out what threats could possibly be around. We've seen warnings about potentially 3 female potential suicide bombers in the area, one maybe near Sochi. That's often something you'll see in this part of the world quite regularly. Week by week, notices will go out where they're looking for people who launch the attacks that blight this part of the world on a regular basis. But it's just right now, with this huge international event coming here, those threats, those daily attacks are now under massive international scrutiny, of course, because people are terrified about what might happen to athletes when they actually come here, Jake.
And Nick, how successful can the Russian security operation be based on what you're seeing there?
Well, I mean, they'll throw down a substantial dragnet, a sort of a cordon around the games itself. It's already pretty hard to get near anywhere near the area without the accreditation, which I tried to get today, but the machines were down. They couldn't actually issue the badges. The problems, though, come down to the training and the knowledge of the actual soldiers and troops on the ground. The policeman I tried to move past, he said he'd only been there for a day. He didn't even know the name of the street he was in fact on. And the Russians have a history of flooding the zones, so to speak, of many police, but occasionally lacking the coordination to prevent stuff getting through. That's Sochi. They'll probably do quite a good job in Sochi and Adler, where the Olympic Village is, at keeping major disasters out. But there's a massive region that stretches all the way over to the Caspian Sea as well. Dagestan, where so many of these blasts we've been hearing have been originating, where the Tsarnaev brothers, who allegedly bombed Boston, were also from. It's going to be very difficult to put a lid on all violence across this massive region for the entire period. They simply don't have the manpower. And bear in mind, Jake, there's bombs, assassinations going off nearly every day for the past 10 years. I don't exaggerate here. This is a region that's been very volatile for a long period of time. The idea that suddenly an international event and the Russian federal government focusing its resources can suddenly switch that kind of violence off, it's simply not going to happen. So there will be something happening. The question is, does it actually hit this Olympic Village or the area around it, Jake?
All right, Nick, Peyton Walsh, thank you so much.